Good day, everybody. I'm Shmee, and it has been a while because I've been struggling pretty hard. And while I was hoping to make a strong comeback with a fresh start, sadly, I think many of you have simply joined me on the struggle bus. You see, last Epoch recently started a mid season reboot where they added a whole bunch of content. Not quite enough for a full new cycle, but they did a ladder reset, something more like a fresh start in the middle of a season. Unfortunately, there is a massive bug, and it happens pretty late in the campaign, and if it hits you, it will brick your character. It happens at the Isle of Storms just before you fight Leath and then move on to Lagon, so you need to find these two moon fragments. But what happened to me and has happened to many other players is that the fragment in the coral pools will despawn and just kind of not be there anymore, and you simply can't progress forward because the quest locks you out. No boss fights, no finishing the campaign. You can do what I did and try to unlock a few timelines in the hope of a quick patch, but you're not going to be gaining reputation for the Circle of Fortune or the Merchant's Guild while you do it. I did speak to someone in chat. They claimed to have gotten past the bug by simply re-clearing the area as though just the quest text was bugged. I tried following their steps. I tried recreating my own steps. I even tried screwing with my own graphics settings in the hopes that it was something that you could somehow get around. But the sad reality is that if you get hit by this bug, your character is bricked until the bug gets fixed. And it's really tragic because I was loving this mid-season reboot. The loot lizards are so simple, but they're a great addition. If you've ever played Diablo 3, just basically imagine a more simple version of treasure goblins and you'll get the general idea. They don't run away and get 99% damage reduction 6 different times. They just die and spawn a whole bunch of loot. Last Epoch's implementation of these lizards has nailed two things really well. First, it fills the gap for farming runes and glyphs. Previously, basically, characters in Last Epoch had a kind of farming period where your crafting was severely limited up until about halfway through your empowered timelines, where you then would just have enough crafting stuff to actually do real dedicated crafting. And then you could farm enough to keep it up pretty easily. But now, you don't have that giant delay period anymore. Farming lizards will easily give you a lot of runes and glyphs that you can regularly start crafting, even re-rolling bad mods with Glyphs of Chaos, about halfway through the campaign. The second is that it gives a huge loot boost to idols specifically. You can find 4 different kinds of loot lizards: yellow ones that drop rare items, purple ones that drop exalteds, gold ones that drop uniques, and my personal favorite, the blue lizards, which drop idols. Idols are a really cool form of itemization that's unique to Last Epoch, but for build hipsters like me, they're also a source of power for more, let's say, creative builds. Building with idle effects just got a lot easier because it's so much easier to farm idols now. In general, I think they hit the loot balance perfectly. It does feel a bit power creepy, but in a good way, more like a loot fiesta. And in the end, the overall buffs to loot and farming mean that you get to craft more consistently, and you can be a lot more picky with your loot filters. And also, you can honestly be a lot more weird with your build ideas. And that's the biggest shame for me. I had this really cool idea for a lightning javelin paladin, spamming electrify by raining down javelins and then using idols to trigger a bunch of extra smites. And it was really fun and pretty dang powerful despite my absolutely atrocious gear, up until the point where my build got locked by that bug. So I'm not giving up on Last Epoch's season reboot just yet, because I've found, even though it wasn't really supposed to, hammer throw is actually really good, and that gave me another weird idea. So I'm playing one more character, but this time, instead of focusing on my lightning javelin and doing paladin, I'm going to be building a hammer throw Echo Hammer Void Knight. Thank you all for watching. Please keep your fingers crossed that this character doesn't bug out too. And until next time, take care, everybody.